Coming in hot. Hello, I'm back off holiday and we're going to stream some Norco. I am going to get back to Weird West, the game I want to play much more of, but I heard some good things about this game whilst I was away, listened to some podcasts and that, and it is worth a little go and see what's going on with this game. Let me just set up on my laptop how it needs to be. Apparently there's going to be a lot of reading for me to do, which is always a joy. Always fantastic. Come on. Almost like we know what we're doing. Allegedly. So yeah, Norco. What do I know about this game? So from doing audio checks and setup with that sort of stuff, it's got kind of like a cool spooky soundtrack. I think it's set in Louisiana. Yeah, so not a whole lot. I think it's more of a narrative game. There's a few player choices, and there's a bit of adventure-y gamey stuff in here, which is not my forte whatsoever, but if a good one comes along, I'm certainly willing to play it. I do like the pixel art as well. Let's hit a new game. Norco, Louisiana. Shield hid the stars behind halogen and flame projected onto the sky every night. Yeah, apparently the writing's quite good in this one, so. There's no such thing as silence, the noise never went away, the refinery exhaled an endless sigh. I still can't sleep without that sound. I've tried to do bits of Pixel art in the past, and it's extremely difficult. You know, the people who are good at it are real good. In your dreams, the towers were grand cathedrals, places of worship, the swamps hid behind mirrors like spies. Birds transformed radiant spheres and traced omens above the highway blight. You spent your adolescence sleepwalking between little, devastating rituals. Though Blake pleaded, you decided to leave. I didn't care. For a while you did. You caught out on a grainer to Chicago and onwards to the west coast. You never left Louisiana and thought you'd never return. You thought the ghosts of the lowlands wouldn't find you hiding along the road. The years carried you through overlit suburbs of the vast American limbo, across mountains, above cell towers. Coming down 9-9, you saw an old man crouched in a roadside ditch. He was mouthing your name. He had a familiar gaze. He was gone when you wiped the sleep from your eyes. You spoke to Blake, learning of your mother's declining health, her insomnia, her erratic behaviour. You ignored the urgency in your brother's voice. By and by you made your way east. You threw your phone into the Rio Grande. You joined the armies of the Mesa. And once you were a company of fugitives. You slept in nuclear tunnels repairing engines and weaponry. The war was a meme that set Albuquerque on fire. You escaped while the foot soldiers of a pop-up junta bloodied that parched land. While hiding in the berth of a freightliner, I prayed. You held the cross around your neck and mouthed a prayer to God. You called home from a landline in a motel somewhere beyond Texas. You knew from Blake's hello that your mother was already dead. You hung up, shouldered your bag, returned to the highway. 5 years had passed. The ghosts were calling you back home. It's a very good intro. I sometimes think about like the way things are written and like trying to ever write something yourself. You never can quite hit the same cadence that other people can, or I can't anyway. I suppose I'm more outing myself as a bad writer here. You awake from a delirious dream to find yourself in a childhood bedroom. Monkey watches you from the corner. You mind map. Oh, this is like internal sort of stuff. You. Finish thought. You were travelling through the Midwest. The freight cars rattled in the cold dusk as you crouched in the grainer porch. Cell towers peeked over the flat country, translating the notions of the world. The lights of the suburban Memphis, the fences, the traffic. The stark shadows under a lavender bed of clouds. Afraid, tired, silent and alert at each terminal, you watched the night decay for one. Then what? You rode in the back of a van wedged between amplifiers from Chicago to Des Moines. You stole a heater from Walmart and brought it to the poorly attended house show. Is it Des Moines or Des Moines? To Kansas City to Denver. Across the Rockies. Your friends went south and you were glad to be alone. You spent long nights along those highways in a shitty sleeping bag. You bathed in rivers, you watched the ocean of outer space, you watched the satellites travel along their course. Down the Pacific coast. Summer days arrived. You built a bike in a garage in Eureka and took it south. Generator shows on the beach. Interstate on ramps teeming with personalities. Familiar smile on the face of the old man in the Central Valley ditch. A smile burned its image into your eyes. Ditchman. Smile of the man who crouched in the ditch of the highway revisits your mind. His head was smudged with Wednesday ashes, and mascara ran from his eyes. I'm guessing there's like connections of some sort that we have with various people. And this sort of internal thing is just errant thoughts, I take it. Our character sounds like someone who's very much got a sense of nihilism about them. They're running away from everything. Because your brother needs you, because your mum died. Brother, mum. We'll answer some of these later, I think. The cancer metastasized. It was in her liver, then her lungs, then it was in her brain. She was on chemo. Never finished her third course. In the hospice on Jefferson Highway, Blake said the traffic shook the building. He left before she drew her last breath. Alone with the morphine drip in the rattling glass. That's how Catherine died. Your mum. I'm not sure like if they have some effect on gameplay. Monkey. Your best friend and childhood gift. You spoke with him often when things got difficult, but then you left. He sat here for 5 years collecting dust. 5 years, his eyes filled with anger as he challenges you to return his gaze. Staring Contest Part 1. Glyphs. Glyphs will appear and flash a pattern. Match the pattern to meet Monkey's gaze. Ready? Yes. You successfully meet Monkey's gaze with cool assurance. However, his expression is unchanged. You stare more intensely. Wasn't necessarily expecting too many mechanics in this. Circles will appear over Monkey's eyes. An outer ring will shrink to the perimeter of the circle. Click the circle when the outer ring locks into place. Ready? We halved it. I suppose this is one way of introducing what may become mechanics later. Anger melts from Monkey's face. Take Monkey. sticker from grade school, half peeled from the window. Cool January air spills through the open window. The low sun washes over the neighbourhood. A small flock of blackbirds dissolves into the tree line towards the lake. Commuter traffic glints along the apple street as a pair of wrens weave out of the overgrown lot next door. The laptop your parade gifted you idles on a shoddy particle board desk. I don't know that word. Let's Google it. Probably something really basic, but I always think with reading, you should look up things you don't know, and then you get to read better. Godfather, godparent, sponsor. Oh, I wonder if it's French. Okay. Wake laptop. No internet in the house? Looks like Blake was using the computer at some point. He left a browser tab open. Modbot. Archived. Anybody still post here? Anglers. Note, placed as a wasteland. Mods are all SJWs. Brilliant. You're posting. Nice one, jackass. Forgot I even posted. Wanted to run something by you gents. Was knocking out a sack at LA in the spillway. Saw a big round glowing thing in the sky. Call that the sun, OP. Funny, talked to someone else seeing it too near the parish canal. Bruh, that's the sun. Lamo, I see that every day, OP been raising and settling. What? Need cash fast. Flyer from a show your friends put on a few weeks before you left town. Fight broke out while one of the opening bands played. Was outside. He didn't feel like being around crowds that night. After the show, you and Blake shot fireworks from the roof of the hotel on Poydras Street. Sleepless and sober, the two of you walked back to Norco. You watched the sun climb over the grain elevators. Plant. Crisis LARPing. The proto-disaster tourism began almost as soon as the floodwaters left. Punks from across the country ventured into the 9th Ward, Gentilly, St Bernard, and finally the East. They curated theatrical self-portraits of their lives in ruins. The aesthetics of disaster were essential to that emerging milieu. Began to percolate into popular culture. Collapse became the zeitgeist. Wise investigators recuperated the experience of disaster. New Orleans became a plastic dystopia, a marketplace for Christ. Is there anything else in here? I hope this game's not too pixel hunty. We've got a whole world map here. We can go to the various places inside our home. I'm just going to go and get a glass of water. I should have done that before I started, really, but I'm not one to think ahead. these days I'll plan these things ahead of time, but not today. Inside. Memories of sleepless nights, the dull refinery hum in the red halogen half-darkness, your mum sitting here staring through the window. There was a tension in her demeanour, as if you were interrupting some urgent and obligatory task. You'd continued to the kitchen with no words in exchange. Clearly don't have a good relationship with our mum. I don't think it was like... Yeah, but those nights were rare. Many of them you simply don't remember. Photo of your mum holding Blake as a baby on the beach in Pensacola, Florida. Winter. You stand beside them bundled up and laughing as a gust of wind rakes the beach. The sky is bone white. Peruse the titles on the bookshelf. The western margin of the lake. Many tragedies have come to pass along the western margin of Lake Pontchartrain. The unnamed hurricane of YW9D left the settlement of Frenier and Le Branche in a state of unrecognisable destruction. Those who survived did so by clinging for their lives to the limbs of the cypress trees. Fables and secrets of those communities lie with the bones now scattered in the sediment of the lake. I'm interested in this one. Critiques of a deliberate externality. Field has acquired much of Norco's most flood-resistant land through a variety of mechanisms. Madeira and more argue that one such mechanism is a process of deliberate externality. This theory posits that key corporate decision makers encourage the company to emit effluent and noxious substances into the environment with the explicit intention of decreasing neighbouring property values. This compels residents to sell their properties at below market value to relocate as quickly as possible. Criticism that this theory often receives is that it diminishes the importance of slavery in situating black residents along industrial fence lines and down the Mississippi River. In the words of Carter, slavery was the deliberate externality from which Shield continues to profit. Pollution was never needed. Yeah, I don't think things are going well in this community. Or, like, it's alienating and disrupting, but also not being helped by Norco. I'm quickly realising how much reading there is to do in this. Turn on the television. Chaotic distortion of your mother's memories flash before you. Tune in. This is unusual. Is the implication that these were recorded, or they just happened to be on the TV? Nothing good there. An old defective flat screen that your mum never bothered to bring to the curb. Oh, it's so... character projection. A letter from Shield Oil sits atop a stack of mail. Dear neighbour, please be advised. There will be elevated flaring at the site of number 5 stack near Good Hope on this evening of Thursday, March the 19th. This will pose no health risk to residents. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Shield Norco Office of Community Engagement. Yeah, definitely nothing good there. Right, where else can we go? We've done bedroom. Kitchen. Definitely been a religious upbringing. Million. I'll stay in the kitchen for a second because I'll have a mosey around. Your mum's painkillers are spilled across the counter. You've discovered so many dead cockroaches in this microwave over the years that it's discouraged you from using it. For several months, a dead baby roach was stuck between the clock's display and the protective screen, blocking the hour. Blake finally shook the microwave aggressively enough that the roach fell into the guts of the machine. Nice. Ah, so I think we can only travel to different rooms based on our current location. So I can only go to the attic from the kitchen. Mum giving away everything as she came to the end. Living room, backyard, attic. From the living room, where could we go? Front yard, bedroom, kitchen. Your mum fed the neighbourhood strays. They must be hungry since she passed. The grandfather's statue of the Virgin Mary sits in the shadows along the crawl space of the house. You observe the weathered concrete and flaking paint of the statue. We've already sort of distinguished our character as being slightly religious, praying at one stage. Begin to recite the prayer that you've whispered 100 times as a child. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee, blessed art among meek. Sinners. Yeah, if you can tell, I wasn't. Not something I know. Snaps off as if by design. Behind the statue's face hides an odd assemblage of electronics carelessly soldered together. The centre of the electronic configuration is what appears to be a card reader. Cool. I mean, not necessarily cool, but... just making sure I've seen everything. I want to see who this Million is. Million sits in her characteristic slouch, lost in thought. The carapace has taken on the rusted and weather-worn quality of the rest of the machinery in the yard. You recall the night that your mum showed up with her. You and Blake stayed up past dawn, poring over pirated API docs. The ragdoll mass was slumped on the floor as you wrote the routing procedure. You wonder if such memories hide behind her constellation of eyes. The robot regards you casually. Okay, you're awake. Sleeping years. Sound of the refinery did always help you sleep, didn't it? In any case, I'm certain I was no help. Gestures towards the motorcycle at the edge of the carport. I was turning over the engine on that bike to test the coils. Quite noisy, but they're in good shape now. All I need is a fuse, which we can use to get around whilst I finish repairing the truck. Phone rang inside, but my hands were full. Were you expecting a call? Many people have been calling since Catherine died. Your brother is usually the one who answers the phone, but I don't know where he went off to. Wonder where he could be. Likely at the bar or the bookstore if I had to guess. Where can we get a fuse? Gas station, but you have to persuade Troy to let you in. Looked in research for a client in Fat City. Sense that many people would like to acquire that data. I'm aware of where she is hidden it. Perhaps Blake knows its whereabouts. Who exactly would want to see the data? Your mother spent entire life researching this town. She knew histories that others have forgotten. Histories has a lot of value in this place. Who is the client? I haven't a clue. These aren't things she's discussed with me. As the cancer spread, she became more guarded with her research. She was always keeping strange company. The plot thickens ever so slightly. Old bike. Disintegrating crab net. In the summers, you bike out to suction before sunrise, tie the chicken next to the bottom ring of your net, submerge it, sit there nursing your coffee while Swamp raised its voice. You'd come home with a dozen or so crabs snapping and writhing in a burlap bag. You assume your mum hadn't been out on the water much this past. It's a nice little area. This was your grandfather's truck. You remember riding in the lap whilst he let you steer. Dead wasps that collected behind the seat. Smell of the grease, whiskey and nicotine. You and Blake would drive the truck into New Orleans at the weekend. No AC, windows down, the rattling chassis was deafening going on 75 on the Interstate 10. Millions has been slowly repairing the vehicle since your mum's death. Like Millions. I want to see. There's an option to show everything. Empty slots. Is there anything we're missing in our home? Backyard we've done. 3 crow's eyes from the power line. Three times this house has flooded. The first flood, a shadow of a memory. Placing your feet down on the drenched carpet, your mum and grandfather ripping out sheetrock. Sitting in a small RV in the backyard, setting dolls on a cluttered little table. Second flood? You were 14. The pumping station failed during a heavy rain. You were in a class watching the clouds move upriver. You got a text message from your mum. Stay in Destrehan, I'll come and get you. 2 weeks you shared a hotel room with your mum and Blake. You spent all the days gutting the house, in the evenings you would sometimes help. Another pump failure, your mum hired contractors with the insurance money. She said she was getting too old for it. You were bitter, you blamed her for not selling the house sooner. You stayed with friends in New Orleans. Fourth flood? Fourth flood will follow a slow hurricane, and it will be a calamity. It will leave the entire region submerged as critical levees breach. There will be a massive blackout that lasts weeks. Much of the sewage infrastructure will be damaged beyond repair. The embattled federal government will do nothing to assist. It will bankrupt the region. Small militant enclaves will form along the high ground in the Mississippi River. They will take to piracy and hijack commercial shipping vessels. Private mercenary forces will retaliate in kind. Slowly industry will flee this hot zone. The old river control structure will collapse from neglect and sabotage. The Mississippi River will again change its course. Norco, an old abandoned refinery town on the ghost of a river. Your house will be squatted and then razed. I wonder if we are that prescient and able to predict the future, or if we're just making some solid guesses. Street, backyard, birds, we've done all that. I'm sure if we find out that our mother was hiding some stuff, then That Mary statue might be important. Also went to the street. I'm going to drop one more save. We head out. Purdue PI. Purdue Private Investigators. We snoop for you. Well, I said nipple and third there. The turtle. He crawled out of the trash can. Don't touch him. See, he's dirty. No, he's not. Turtles are always clean. They live in water. Fresh water is not clean. We got to go, see. Just let me stare a little longer. He's pretty. Snowball stand is closed for winter. Norco, Louisiana. Sprawling Shield Industrial Complex. Long ago it's plantation land, cheap and abundant along the Mississippi River. The refinery grew in stages, slowly displacing surrounding neighborhoods. The chemical annex came online later. Children of the enslaved became the neighbors of this machine. History seems to be very important in this game. You know, layers of culture that create the peoples that live here. Carbon and alloy, stainless and steel. Among the column sits the catalytic cracking unit that rocked the town. The webwork crosses high and low, over and under traffic, water and concrete, like veins, like gossamer, like neural circuitry. Lights. Everywhere, metal halide probing the river's expanse. Coded patterns of warm sodium and cold LEDs winking, thinking and knowing. Reminds me of sort of Gibson style of writing this does. The way it talks about technology in a very particular way is very William Gibson-y. Saying something, speaking, burning eyes seeing. Something to decipher in all that Norco light. Remember Blue. You only think that you do. When he died, part of her did too. Who's Blue? Blue. A vague memory. You don't remember Blue, only the things he left behind. Photographs, cologne, tools, the name your mother kept. Even the pictures that have survived are too faded to make out. Shield is an oil refinery. Shield Gulf South is a regional subsidiary of a transnational oil empire. It holds a large share of leases in the Gulf of Mexico and refines crude oil right here in Norco. The chemical annex sits on the other side of town from the refinery. Produces feedstock for plastic consumer products. Shield owns half the town. Shield. So we have people and an interconnected web of people, including the ditchman. Who's there? Let me have thoughts about this. Blue ass stepdad then. Million was security android. Guarded the perimeter of the I went into American aluminium refinery in Gramercy. One day she ran away. Find her family. What now? Million? Fugitive. Once a fugitive, now just a relic. Spends hours in stasis beneath the house like any discarded thing would. Million. Your brother. A lot. Younger, reckless. Gets in trouble. Spends sleepless nights scrolling image boards. An edgelord, a shitlord, a sensitive soul, compassionate, foolish. Can't take criticism, always needs money. Tries to help those he loves, but often makes things worse. What else? Insecure, dysmorphic, constantly checking his reflection, always seeking validation. He's terrified of you leaving, and now he's terrified of you dying. He needs to get over it. You're all the family he's got. Your brother. He's oblivious. Your grandmother once said that she didn't expect much from Blake. Said he was short-tempered, oblivious, and couldn't focus. Blake was sitting in a chair across from her, staring down at her tablet. She left the room. You asked him how he felt. I feel fine, he said. Why? Because of what Gran said. He looked confused. What'd she say? Your brother. He's oblivious, apparently. Done everything here. Trying to see if we've seen everything here, and let's move on to the next area. Let's go to the tavern. Doesn't seem to be anything else that we can interact with. Bloodgate Tavern. Many shield workers gather here after their shifts. It's closed, should be open later in the evening. That's a lovely bag. Ah, so this is all sort of adding to our map then. We can quickly... So we have to explore more naturally at first, but then we get like a quick travel option after. I quite like. There's a lot of like sort of standards and things going on here with this sort of game that I'm not super familiar with. Film set. A film crew is set up along River Road. Several floodlights illuminate a gruesome murder scene. Two men stand pensively above a corpse. Approach the set. As you near the set, a small, energetic man jumps from his chair. Attention, dumbass. Can't you see we're trying to shoot here? What are you filming? It's a detective drama called None of Your Goddamn Business. Any other questions? Sounds cool. So is this like a murder scene? Keep it up and it's going to be. Hey. You know what? Wait a second. You from round here? Yeah. We could use some cultural expertise, you might say. We're filming a Bayou cop drama, and all these knuckleheads are from LA. An actor on set turns towards the director. I told you, Kevin, I'm from Texas. Oh, that's right, Noah. I forgot. Your Harvard-educated daddy bought a boutique ranch outside of Austin. Well, that don't make you a cowboy, Hoss. Now hush up before you scare off the yokel. The director returns his attention to you with... Help us out, will you? The script needs some work, what do you say? Yeah, let's get ourselves into some trouble. I know absolutely everything about this local area. I'm from here, like, no bother whatsoever. Great. Hey Noah, get over here so you can learn something from this stupid redneck. This guy's a dick. The actor smoulders. He whispers under his breath. I'm a redneck. I know you're a redneck, a real salt-of-the-earth kind of guy. But as luck would have it, we came across an even dumpier hayseed than you, okay? Just take a knee. Alright, anyway, we need some good slang. What do you call a villain? A bad apple, a lowlife. Bad daddy. You nod solemnly. That's pretty jive, pretty seedy. I can work with that. Great, that's settled. One more thing. What's a more regional way of saying to kill, to murder? Slather and wear with the oyster-flavoured peanut butter. Yeah. Oyster-flavoured peanut butter. You maintain severe eye contact. Jesus, that's vile, that's repulsive. Just like this place. Absolutely love it. Noah? Yes. Slather them with the oyster flavoured peanut butter. Got it? Yeah. Well, I'm satisfied. The bad daddy slathered up another poor bastard with oyster flavoured peanut butter. Sends a shiver down my spine. I seriously have to repeat this. This is how real people speak, Noah. How people talk outside Silver Lake, you understand? Real people are out here saying weird gross shit all the time. So memorise that line, because that line is going to win me a Golden Globe. Director half remembers your presence. I'm pretty good at sourcing talent, aren't I? Always had a knack for it. I guess I owe you one. If you ever need anything, talk to Noah or somebody else on set. Just don't bother me, I'm busy. I'll get lost. There's a lot to be said about finding humour in like a shitty young adult or teen who's just making stuff up. Gas station. I suppose I don't need anything from the film set at the moment, so so many evenings spent watching traffic pass by this gas station. Little has changed. The neighbouring business still sits abandoned. The surrounding streets are quiet and empty. Well, well, well. Look who's back. What happened? Carnival forget you beside the road? You even bought your little doll. That's cute. Oh, Troy, you look like shit. Not even gonna start with you. How come the rest of your family's so chill but you're so uptight? Mum just died, thanks. You're not that stupid, are you? Catherine, she too valuable. They'd never let her die. If anything, she'd probably vacation on a hard drive somewhere. You trolling me about my dead mum? Trolling, you so damn sensitive, can't say nothing around you. Your mum was excavating all along the rim of the lake. She used to pay me to help from time to time, matter of fact. She needed somebody smart, somebody vigilant, somebody like me. Especially with Shield snooping around. Seen some wild shit out there in the swamps with Catherine. Kind of shit. Wouldn't bother telling you about it, it might hurt your brain. And anyway, this ain't story time. I'm not letting you in on this gas station. Goddamn company that runs this dump did me dirty. They swapped me with an ATM machine for speaking truth. Ain't letting nobody through till I get an apology, very least. That sucks. Don't patronise me? Ah, so my brother selling pills. Sure. Lone horse drinks from stagnant water poured along the riverbank. Memorial. Here past the brave freedom fighters of January XW11. A man sits on a pile of flotsam, his head buried in a canvas jacket against the sharp air. Stupid horse. The man's gaze stays fixed on the opposite bank of the river, never turning to you nor the horse. Can't stand that horse. Lots of stupid in this world. Stupid people, stupid horses. Agree more. Spits on the dirt at his feet. You know what all they dump in that water? Hell of a cocktail. Spits again, wiping a string of mucus on his sleeve. What you out here for anyway? Ain't you heard they got a criminal on the loose? Bringing the law around here, making things harder for the rest of us. Best be sharp, young one. I think the way that they disconnect all of these conversations away from each other gives them, like, you don't see a group of, I know we saw two people talking, but everyone seems like distant and away from each other. Well, we know where we can get some drugs for Troy, wasn't it? I want to go to the kitchen. You pocket your mum's pills. Does feel like we are taken away from our brother a little bit. I wonder if anyone's come to the tavern yet. I'm just coming down here just in case. I was missing something. Dunk room is set. Okay. Be able to do anything with them. Got me those pills. Only the way you're getting through. Yeah, I got your pills. Smart move. I'll let you cross the picket line this time, punk. Automated robot. Fuses hang on the shelf. Grab a fuse. And detect that you have merchandise in your possession. You must remove any unpurchased items from your backpack and scan them in order to exit the store. Use an item in your inventory, drag the item from your inventory menu to the intended target. You scan the fuse. Thank you for your purchase. The disembodied illuminated head of the Koyusk levitates silently in the browser tab. Good evening, how may I help you? You own this place? I am Discountware, a distributed cloud-based operating system for the American Discount Southeast Incorporated Semantic version number 16.3.3. The owner of this franchise is Haralu & Sons LLC. Discountware is licensed to the LLC. How'd you like the job? I proudly perform routine maintenance operations and procedures of 227 American Discount Southeast Incorporated franchise locations across the Southeast region. They're sort of spreading these robots everywhere. You know Troy? Why'd Troy get fired? Yeah, we get why you just, you're making everyone's lives better. Making sure I'm not missing anything. So let's go back home. Where's the backyard? We can do it from the front, can't we? you got the fuse? Good. We'll be able to use the bike to get around town until I'm done with the truck. Concerns me that Blake still hasn't returned. He's been spending a lot of time at Sarpy Paperbacks lately. Perhaps we should look for him there. I'm going to call the stream there. I know it's been a particularly short one, but I need to give my voice more of a rest than I thought I needed to after having some time off. I'm not going to push it too hard. I might play some more of this on stream, I might not. Seems alright. I actually really like the writing, it's just a lot of reading more than anything else. Which is, you know, nothing on the game's fault for that, but yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, I should think, with some more Weird West. Goodbye.